Okay, now we're live.
Hi.
Okie dokie.
So, oops, we did a bad. We're very naughty children, and
we're naughty. We're disobeying.
We thought we would be okay,
children.
but clearly we've upset the gods. So we're just gonna talk about our clips instead of showing them to you, and you get to use your imagination, children.
Yes, it's very sad though.
Hey,
it's very sad. Very sad.
So should we do a quick recap of what we picked so far?
That's probably a good idea.
Okay. So your number 3, Sandra, was?
My number 3 was Tina's death from Nightmare on Elm Street. The OG Tina flying around the room, bleeding everywhere. Great practical effect.
Okay.
That's my number 3.
Yes, beautiful, wonderful.
My number 3 was Pennywise kills Georgie from It.
The 2017 It.
The 2017 It. Chapter 1, I guess.
Chapter 1, page 1.
My 3 was The Fly 2, the face melting and head crushing scene, which that head crushing scene actually got the film an X rating at first. I had to, chop it down to less crush.
Okay.
Less crush. Fun facts. Then we also threw in our friend Michael's favorite, which is the end of RoboCop, which was an honorable mention on Neil's list.
Yep. Yes.
And then my number 2 pick was the so-called Blood Eagle scene in Ari Aster's Midsommar, where we have the beautiful barn and the flowers and some flowers in the eyes, but your lungs and your skin is all outside your body, and it's a shock. And
yes, for sure.
For the person happening to, or us, the viewer?
For everybody. For everybody. Who wants to give their number?
You.
So I guess it's my turn. So
yes.
The clip that I wanted to show you, and now I have to now I feel like I have to look everything up.
Yeah, I don't know if we're getting copyright strikes as well. Once you get number 3, they boot you off of YouTube.
Okay.
For how long?
Until you can convince them that you didn't do anything bad.
Oh, maybe so, maybe not. We're just gonna talk about it.
Yeah, I want to do it, but maybe you can show a still. Can you capture stills somehow? No, I don't know.
Yeah, that's probably a lot of work.
Just fast forward in the video and stop it at a point, and then that's it. Just show that. No. Okay.
No, bro.
Okay.
Quick, stop it.
Oh shit. Yeah, quit. Stop.
Yeah. So that little quick scene that you may have seen there was from Pan's Labyrinth, where the guy crushes other guy's face with a bottle.
Jesus, that fucking movie.
Yeah, good scene. Very effective.
It's a great movie by one of my favorite directors, but that movie is relentless.
It is a disturbing movie, to say the least.
Yeah.
It's
and
brilliant.
I feel like that was somewhere in the beginning as well. Not the very beginning, but
it's near
early
the beginning.
On. So
yeah, that's a great pick, because that movie is it's,
and just the way he just keeps hitting him, and every time he hits him, his face just keeps caving in on itself more and more and more and more. It's just like
a melon.
God, nasty.
It is so nasty.
Very kind of similar to that irreversible scene with the fire extinguisher.
Yeah. Which was, there were 3 things I wanted to pick: Irreversible, Pan's Labyrinth, and then there's also a scene in A History of Violence where a guy gets his nose crushed. And Irreversible is just such a disturbing movie that I just don't really want to give it any
you don't
props.
quite want to just throw that grenade out there.
I just feel dirty watching it once, 20 years ago, or however long ago it was.
I feel that. Yeah, I feel that.
Wow. Okay, so my number 2 is, and this one's for Lewis, a Lucio Fulci film,
Oh, look at that.
Yes. And mine is a film called City of the Living Dead, also known as The Gates of Hell. And this is
AKA.
from the trilogy of those three films, The Gates of Hell trilogy they're called, but City of the Living Dead, The Beyond, and House by the Cemetery. So we had talked about, being desensitized because of Lucio Fulci films.
Right.
And this is a scene I really wanted to show everyone because this is like one of the more disgusting kills in my opinion, and it's where a young lady in a car sees the ghostly apparition, if you will, and then it makes her vomit out her innards. So it's a
Like
very
you do.
wonderfully long scene of her. First, her eyes start bleeding, and it's a really cool effect. And then she starts, and then it's like, little blood, little white foam, and then innard, bigger innard, thicker innard, guts, spleen, all coming out of her
All
mouth,
the innard.
whilst hearing lots of wonderful little squishy noises. So it's a really effective, pretty disgusting scene. Only something that those crazy Italian directors would do. So anyway, I was really hoping to show that one, but
do you think his movies hold up? Because I don't know if they would desensitize the kids of today with some of the makeup and the coloring choices. I have to wonder. Some of it looks a little dated.
I think they're still pretty brutal myself, but
yeah, but I'm just wondering.
Yeah, I don't know. It's my opinion is I think they hold up fine as far as the effects go.
The effects, definitely.
If you want to get into like dialogue or maybe some imagery of certain things, perhaps not just because of time,
right?
But as far as effects go, I think they're still pretty brutal overall.
Yeah, I'd be really curious. I'd be really curious to see what like young horror fans think of Fulci.
Yes, that would be interesting. I agree.
Is it time for my number one pick?
Are we? I guess we're at one already. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I guess we can talk about our honorable.
We'll probably have time to do all our honorables. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So my number one pick is from Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds.
The Birds.
And this is when she goes to check on, I think it's Dan, her neighbor. And we get this absolutely brilliant scene where the first thing you see is the teacups hanging and they've been broken. And then we go down the hall into his room. Then you see a painting is askew. And then we kind of get the image that there's bloody broken birds and the glass everywhere. And then we see the full image of the man and then enhance on his face. And he is clearly dead. He's got his eyes pecked out.
Without eyes.
Without eyes. And there's no music. There's no warning for this scene. All you hear is Jessica Tandy kind of like making these like gasping sounds and then like her footsteps retreating. And this is like one of those scenes that has stuck with me since I was a kid. As we talked about, we all like Hitchcock. I'm a huge Hitchcock fan. I love The Birds. It's my favorite. And it's just it's so disturbing and it's so simple and it's gross. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know. It's sometimes, it's just the simple things are the best ways.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think The Birds is definitely a fun, great film,
Absolutely.
especially because we're where we live.
Yes.
We're so close to it.
It is local to us.
It is local.
Yeah.
Nice Great choice. Scene. Very good. Number one. All right. The Birds. Caleb?
All right. So my number one is a little movie called Bone Tomahawk.
I knew you were going to pick this.
I think anyone that knows me knows I was going to pick this. But
yeah. Well, we hadn't even talked about it. So I was like, he's going to pick it.
Of course, but and I wish we could have shown this because what happens to this poor guy is just absolutely horrible. Like first he gets scalped, then he gets a big stake like this long shoved into his mouth, and then they turn him upside down and they literally cut him and then rip his legs open, and then everything inside of him just goes
Just spills out.
Yes,
Yes.
it's a brutal scene.
It is
Yeah,
a
there is.
brutal scene. It is a famous, infamous scene. Yeah.
And I was the first time, the only time I ever watched this movie, I was on the couch just watching it, and of course, the first half is just kind of like a Western, but but a very well written, film. Like the dialogue was really interesting and really well done.
Totally.
And so Jen and my son Wyatt, who was probably 16 at the time, come and sit on the couch next to me, and Jen's reading, and Wyatt is kind of, "What you watching?" And I'm like, "Oh, this movie." And so things start to happen, and then when that scene comes up, the look on my son's face, his jaw drops, his eyes go wide, and he just looks at me and goes, "What is wrong with you? Why do you watch stuff like this? Oh my God, I can't believe you made me watch that." Oh.
Yes.
It was hysterical. It was like, I mean, he had never seen anything like that before.
I didn't
So
do anything, child.
I know. I think I didn't tell you to come over here and watch that, but I mean, he was just like in disbelief at what he saw, and then he was just like, "Oh, the noise! I mean, you could hear all the this and that." I mean, it was hysterical.
All the
So
splooge.
yeah, it was really funny. I think you and Jen was just kind of like, "What is wrong with you?"
Yeah, there's a lot wrong with us.
When I was watching it, the very first time I watched it, that happened. I was all by myself, and I just went like, not quietly, just like, "Oh fuck!" Like, just because you're not expecting it, like you said, it's this little Western with Kurt Russell and who else was in that? Matthew Fox and
Richard Jenkins,
Insidious, Richard Jenkins, and Patrick Wilson.
Yes,
that's
was
right.
also in it.
Yes.
So it's a very good movie. It's on Prime if anybody hasn't seen it and wants to check it out.
It is a fun movie.
Yeah.
No, really well
done. And we love Kurt Russell.
Yeah, and we love Kurt Russell. Yeah.
Yeah.
With a big mustache.
Mustachioed.
But not hateful eight big, but still big.
Right.
He just trimmed it back like half an inch for this movie.
Right. Or he was growing it out for that, and they said, "Hey, you want a quick movie?" And you're like, "Oh yeah, sure."
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like go to Singapore and like film this movie real quick. Yeah, why not?
In Singapore?
I think it was filmed in Singapore.
Really?
No.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Cool. Okay, I didn't know that.
I had no idea.
I could be wrong. I remember reading a lot about it when it came out because I was like, "This is crazy." Of course, like everybody else.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So I guess that means
crazy.
It's you.
All right. So my number one, numero uno, which if you guys know me, you're gonna go, "Oh, of course," but
I think I already know what it is.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. It is one of my favorite baddies, Colonel Rhodes from Day of the Dead.
Oh, okay. That's was not my guess, but it was one of my guesses.
Oh, okay.
One of my guesses.
So yes, this is an epic death for this really, really horrid bad man. Where the zombies basically just grab his feet, grab his stomach, rip and pull. So his entire lower half just
like a
comes
Christmas
out.
cracker.
Yes. And comes out, and then the zombies just pull his entrails out. They just rip the stomach and the this and the that while he's still alive, screaming, "Choke on him, choke on him."
It's like a buffet.
It is like a buffet. It's a pre-coronavirus buffet. Exactly.
Yeah, we could never do that buffet today.
No, you cannot. The zombies would have to social distance. I mean, it's just nothing else you can do about it.
Oh, and they don't understand the concept.
Yeah.
6 feet apart.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
that's a good pick, though.
Anyway, yeah, I love. Everyone knows I love Day of the Dead very much, and of course, it's a Tom Savini special, a practical effect, of course, that is done. I mean, it's just beautifully done, masterly crafted. Great story behind it. They had all the entrails and stuff they used were actual animal parts, and then they had everything in the fridge, and then they went on like a vacation for like the week for whatever it was, 4th of July or something, And while they're gone, the power went out. So
Oh,
of course,
God.
everything in the containers went bad, but they had nothing else to use when they came back to shoot that scene. So they had to, of
Jeez.
course, had to put all these very rotten and stinky animal entrails back into poor Joe Pilato and pull him out. So there's some great behind the scenes footage of, the zombies having to sit, munch and pull this nasty things out. And Joe's in there for, Joe, of course, is like trapped in this contraption, for hours and hours and hours filming this thing and smelling it. I mean, it's just, horrid conditions, but
Gross.
pays off something fierce. So
that is awesome. I did not know all of that behind the scenes information. That is
That I did know.
awesome.
I'm a Day of the Dead geek.
Yeah.
I love
So
it.
my funny story about that is that when Neil and I met Joe Pilato in Indianapolis at a convention, we were
In the bar
drinking, just hanging out. And I quoted that scene to him, but I misquoted it.
Oh.
What did you say?
I don't remember, but it was a variation of choke on it.
Choke on him.
Choke on him
Yeah.
or something. I can't remember. And he
Choke on him is what he said.
He nicely corrected
Oh.
me, but it was very embarrassing to me.
That's weird that he corrected you. That's kind of weird.
It's a pretty famous, iconic line for horror nerds.
I guess, but I would just be so happy that somebody wanted to come up to me and drop that. But whatever. That's just me.
We were all sitting at the bar together, so it was cool.
Maybe
We were
No, it
drinking.
was my memory of that night far exceeds the little bit of embarrassment that I may have for misquoting a line to the actor. So
It's all good.
Yeah.
All right. So do you have time for more then? Where are we at?
Well, I mean,
think so.
technically it's 8. So it's weird because we've stopped and started a few times, but here we are at 8.
Yeah.
I
So,
don't know, man.
You guys have an honorable mention you wanted to talk about real quick? I got mine in already. So
Yeah.
I had 2.
Well, go ahead, Sam.
okay.
I'll do mine quickly, though. So one of them is from the first Final Destination movie.
Bullshit.
I'm a huge fan of Final Destination and of the whole franchise. And the first one came out in my formative horror watching years. And it was like a big deal to me. And it's when the character Terry dies. She's the one with the blonde curly hair. And she's talking about how ridiculous they all are for fighting. She tells her boyfriend and everybody, I just wish you'd drop dead. And she walks right out into the street, just turns around, and a bus hits
Boom.
her,
Yeah.
and the blood splatters. And I just loved it because it was such a wonderful little shock. It's darkly humorous too, which I really appreciate. Yeah, so many wonderful kills from that entire franchise. That was another one that's like, oh, how do I pick? And then my other honorable mention is actually the beginning of the movie The Descent, which is a great film. And we all know that it's about, these female spelunkers getting trapped in the earth, and there's, subhuman flesh eaters going on. But the beginning of the film, it opens with a brutal car accident where it's literally the first minute of the film where her husband and her daughter dies. And it is so brutal and haunting. And it's another great kind of like gotcha fucks with you moment, because you're like, I thought this movie was about people going underground and being pursued by something, and you don't expect it to open with like, bam, something like real world and actually horrifying.
Yes. That's that Final Destination, I remember that was one of the real first times when you saw something like that, where the bus scene, where it was just like all of a sudden, boom, kind of thing you weren't expecting.
Yeah.
Like a lot of movies did it after, but I think from what I remember, that was one of the first ones to do something like that. It was pretty quick and shocking, like, whoa, Yeah.
Yep.
I also remember when that movie became sort of a unexpected hit, that New Line started doing some more marketing. And one of the things they were doing in the trailers was showing audience reactions in while they're watching the movie.
Yes.
You know, and you see them all jump, and it was all that scene that, because it's really out of nowhere. You know, it's pretty shocking. So.
Love it.
Was that the movie also where the train went by and caught a piece of sheet metal that cut half the guy's head off?
Don't think that was the first one.
No? Okay. I can't remember if that was one of those.
I know. It's a little, to be honest, I love the franchise, like it says, dear to me, but a lot of it does bleed together. Sometimes I'll be like, wait, didn't this death happen in 4? And it's like, no, it's in 3. Okay. Whatever. I love you.
Yeah.
All these little, what do they call it? A Rube Goldberg, like the game Mousetrap. Like, send it this, send it this, send it this. Yeah. Yeah. And have you guys seen The Descent? Do you like The Descent?
I haven't seen that.
Oh,
I saw that.
Neil has homework.
I saw that in the theater when it came out, and I've never seen it since. And I remember liking it, but not loving it. But now suddenly it's on like everybody's like top 10 horror films of all time. I was like, whoa, maybe I need to go back and rewatch that again.
I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Neil, please watch it.
Okay.
Watch it for me.
I know I've heard nothing but good things about it. I need to get to it.
Yeah.
Need to get to it. All right, Caleb, what's your honorable?
I had a couple. Well, actually, no, that's not true. Mine were. Don't listen to me. Okay.
Don't lie to us.
My honorable mention was The Shower Smith. I mean, from Psycho. Jesus Christ. But then my other 5 that I did not to the wood chipper scene from Tucker and Dale versus Evil. I don't know if you remember that.
Sure.
When the guy jumps into it?
Where the guy jumps into it, trying to get Alan Tudyk. How do you say his name?
Tudyk, I believe.
Wash from Firefly.
Yeah.
And then Charlie's Head meets a Hereditary.
Yeah. I love all of those. God knows Charlie.
Don't do the A24.
Just don't.
Well, you know that one's not a good one.
Just don't be eating that chocolate cake.
Right?
Yeah, seriously. Hereditary is beautiful. I love Hereditary, so I'll always give you a
well, I mean, there are a
thumbs up
few
on
you
that.
could choose from, but that one to me is the most.
The Ari Aster canon is
shocking.
Just, yeah.
Yes.
That was a great shock.
Yeah. Well,
that
again, like Tina in Nightmare on Elm Street, you think you're kind of following someone that's going to be the hero, and then she loses her head.
You think you're on that thread, and then it's like, no.
Yeah.
And it's also another kind of taboo death too.
Right.
So
how about you,
I
Neil?
had one more. Obviously, we all had 2. I guess we did 5, and I'm surprised, Caleb, that you didn't pull this one in. Actually, I kind of thought you would have, and that is the opening to the movie Ghost Ship. With
my god!
With that wire line that
the wire,
scissors across the entire dance floor. So
that's fucking awesome.
I think that's the movie sucks, but
that's probably why it wasn't on my list.
That opening scene though is worth watching the whole movie because it was really well done and really fun, and they did a really good job with it. So,
100% agree. Like, that's like seared into my mind.
Yes, I just love how it breaks through and you see the flower just go in half, and then all of a sudden, boom, and then everyone's just like slowly looking around, and then the clothes fall off, and they start to slide apart in half, and they're falling down, and I mean, just everyone's like in 2 pieces on the floor. Some people pulling their guts back in. I mean, it's just
put it back.
Really effective. Really
I
effective.
love a
Really
good
well done.
decapitation. Love a decapitation.
Yes. So what is it called when it's like through your body, through your gut? A halving?
There is a name for it.
Demeditation.
I guess I would call it a dissection. A bifurcation.
Okay, why not? Why not?
A severance. Yeah.
All right, good enough.
Whatever it is, I like it. Whatever it is,
I like it.
Sandra is for it.
RoboCop. All right. Well, unfortunately, the show didn't get to go exactly as we wanted, thanks to
isn't that life?
Copyright infringement issues. But
isn't that life and life in quarantine? Sometimes it just doesn't go as expected.
That's right. So you can find everything we showed. You guys can find on YouTube. So it makes perfect sense for them to give us, of course, copyright issues when you can go find on someone else's channel on YouTube.
Right.
So thank you, YouTube, for that. We appreciate it.
Yeah, and we were like talking about it. So we thought we were doing everything okay, but apparently not.
Yeah. We'll see how much I have to fight with them tomorrow.
We're gonna have each and every one of you writing letters.
Yeah, really.
Please
Letter
don't
writing
cancel the
campaign.
Cold Show. I love them.
Oh man. So okay, I guess we'll get back to you for next week, right? What we're gonna do next week without any violations.
We'll see.
Fingers crossed.
You never know.
We didn't know we were doing them this time. You never
We're the
know.
bad boys of the internet. And
Yeah,
girls.
we are fucking rebels.
Rebels.
Yeah.
We have a cause though. We're trying to enlighten and entertain.
Yes, such a cause.
Sons of guns.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah, hashtag fair use, people.
Has-
Hashtag fair use.
Yeah,
But anyway.
seriously. Oh well. But hashtag, what is it, like trapped inside or whatever the hashtag I'm
Stay
going
home.
nuts.
Well, yeah, but what matters is
Hashtag save Halloween, Scott.
That's what really
right.
matters.
All right. Well, we'll put the proverbial bow on this one, I guess, and we'll get back to you with whatever we're doing next week. Because we'll talk about it right after the show.
Bye, friends.
Goodbye. Sorry for the blunders. Peace out, Lewis, Mindy, Laura, Wanda, Michael, Enoch, Tweedledum.